Get started in a minute here, you know. Yo,
Yo, it's another motherfucking
early.
Friday.
Yes, another one. The 28th Friday.
Yeah, 28th Friday.
How you feeling, Brody?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Good week.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's
hmm
been a good morning so far.
It
So, you know what I'm
has.
saying? No
We had some
complaints.
damn, how the fuck I forget that? What's the name of those little
Oh, the
nice
Madelines.
the
Madelines.
Madelines to
I'm sure I'm saying it
compliment
wrong.
the
It's like
nice
it's
coffee
French.
with the creamer?
Madelines
Yeah,
or
I call them
Madelines.
Madelines. I call them
Yeah, I call them
Madelines.
Madelines.
So
Nah, but they're very tough.
yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? Started the morning off right.
For sure.
Um, how's your week been, bro?
It was dope.
Yeah.
Had some edits. I wanted to crank them out because in my head I'm trying to shorten the amount of commissioned music visuals that I do. So I've been trying to just crank out what I had left on my plate so I could just focus on
Yeah.
other creative work. So
You have other
I
things you're trying to focus on?
yeah, straight up. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I mean, from these NFTs to basically more I guess more longer narrative works, trying to work
Yeah.
on that and just trying to
Me
better
too,
make use of my time,
bro.
you know, and
Me
it's just like it's
too.
just too time draining. Shout out to Nate Bone. We shot
Yeah.
a video.
Oh, I saw that you just
Yeah,
posted the other day.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that was beautiful. I really had fun color grading that. Like
Yeah.
I actually I consciously did not want to put too many effects because I was really trying to be like, can this just be a beautiful piece of
Cinematic.
work
Like
and
I was about to say that joint
transition
was
and boom,
definitely
you
that joint
know?
was
So
definitely
yeah.
chill from a sense of like what you're like the effects that you know what
Exactly.
I'm saying, what
Right,
you're
right,
usually
right.
up to.
And it fit, you know, it
Yeah,
just
yeah,
fit
yeah,
the,
hundred
the
percent.
vibe. So that was cool. Shout out to you. We got to knock a shootout last
Yeah.
night. You know what I'm saying? Shout out CC.
That joint was looking good though,
Yeah,
from what I
man.
was looking
Yeah,
at.
I can't wait.
You know what's crazy, bro? Going back to what you were saying about like
Mhm.
the narrative works, bro.
Right.
Me too.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
yo, it's crazy. I don't know why this week it popped back into my head. The movie that I've been writing for anybody who's been following for the last like 3 years. I haven't really wrote or worked on it at all in like
But it's still
in
been
a
a
long
work in
time.
progress.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But this week for some reason it was on my mind. Like, got to get back to that. Like, got to get back to that. Like, yeah, like you're busy, nigga, but that has to get back to.
Hell yeah.
So
hell yeah.
it's very interesting that you said that. And then even just some other kind of more storytelling like projects that I've just had in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
They just were running through my mind this week. Like,
No,
what are you doing? Like, get back to that.
100%.
Yeah, it's very interesting, man. But it's also interesting because yeah, it's like it's not what the time calls for right now.
No, that's facts. And like
For me at least.
now, and I guess the only things I would be open to is like, for instance, something that I'm doing later today. So I'm actually doing a visual shoot later today, and um, shout out my boy Ferg. He runs a White Durag. He's also a really dope creative artist himself.
Yeah.
But we're shooting for my boy Jelani today, and I love the whole setup because they literally and you know the budget was correct, and basically it was so I just do my role. So like literally, bro, like I just wrote a treatment and then like we just direct and slight edit. Like we have like a GFX artist, so they're gonna do. I was like, oh word, like say less. So I will hand it off to him. You know, like you know,
That's
do
dope.
that. And then everybody's already they're focused on getting the location. They're focused on getting all the actors. They're focused on making sure that I can just come in and just really do my job.
Yeah, that's dope.
I like that. I like that. And
It's
not
ideal.
that Yeah, exactly. And not more so that I don't love like piecing everything up together, but it's just more so, bro. It's just like I want to, like what we were talking about in terms of these larger projects. It's like I'm not
you
really
want to be
trying
a
to.
part
I want to
of
be able to
bigger
outsource
you want
roles,
to,
like,
but also you want to be a part of like a
collaborative effort, for real.
collaborative thing, bro. Like
100%.
I get excited when I think about, you know, working with people, and I'm like, oh, like if this person can bring this to the table, you know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
that makes the
100%.
shit way more lit. You know what I'm saying? And it's
100%.
like, yeah, you could do it yourself. You absolutely could. You know what I'm saying? But
And
I don't know. Like Quentin Tarantino isn't editing his own movies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nor
you know what I mean?
does he even spend a second contemplating that he will have to.
Yeah.
I'll be in the process and
Yeah.
may tell you how I might want something to look, but like I'm never gonna be foolish enough to think I'm gonna do your job better than you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making sure this vision, we're just eye to eye on how it should look at the end. So, you know, being a part of projects like that, I always probably be more open-minded to, even like if it's not necessarily a passion project of mine or something that's been focused. It's like, oh, I can just fulfill this role and it makes
Also,
sense to me.
that's
sure.
quick. It's
Yeah,
quick. Like, you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
You do your part, and then everybody else is working on their part, but the project is moving forward. That's
and
very dope.
when things are going about in that type of nature, then you already know they have other things accounted for, like their marketing and how they intend to push it. So you're like, okay, cool. So like
it's not gonna fall on deaf eyes.
Exactly.
I mean, blind eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so if this is how you guys are going about it, then I know you're serious about your shit, and that's even further reason for me to be like, okay, let me seriously consider wanting to be a part of this.
Big facts.
Big
facts.
So that was dope.
Yeah. Shout out to, before we go much further, shout out to Mother's Day this weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Facts,
gotta show some appreciation to the mothers, man.
Shout out Cece.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
bro.
shout out Cece. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Text,
yeah, man.
Yeah, so we just shot yesterday.
That's crazy.
The big 2-2.
Yeah. Bro, when that nigga told me he was 22 years old, I was like, what the fuck,
you got your whole life.
You got your whole life ahead of you. It's not even to say that I wish I was 22 again or anything like that. It's just like,
it's just the reality.
It's just the reality of the matter, bro. Like I be thinking, like bro, because we was talking about, or we're kind of always talking about, just like, you know, what's next, what's ahead of us, and I just be thinking, bro, like there's so much. At 31 years old right now, I'm like, bro, there's so much more for me to tap into, 100%. And at this point in life, it feels like the most possible. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm starting to see how things, like how like life works, and what's crazy is, like, in that I'm understanding I don't understand how life works. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it yet. Here I am. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten this far, so it's like once I start to understand better and better and better, and I know that I will never fully understand what, you know what I'm saying, is going on, because all of this shit really changes so fast. 100%. I mean, going into this crypto era we're in, or we're embarking on, it's kind of proving how, like, you know, new things that we could not even fathom. Yeah, we've known about it for a while, you know what I'm saying? 2016, 2017, 2015, some of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we've known about it for a while. It's been around for a while, but like we're starting to see how things can, like, bro, the world is being shaped every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it brings new opportunities every time.
And every day is literally like like history is being made. You know what's been like a undeniable fact of our, like, all of our existence is literally history is being made every day that you live it. Like,
every day.
It's being made every day, and it compounds, right? So if that was true 1,000 years ago, it's like, well, you think of all the advancements we made, it's like, well, that's compounded over all of this time. So now we're at the point where, you know, technology has always been moving faster than, well, let's just say within the past 20 to 30 years, right, has been moving faster than like humans can actually evolve. But now we're at a point where actually faster is even an understatement to that. It's not just faster. It's like now being integrated in every fucking facet of their life.
Big facts. It's like faster, it's realer,
Yeah,
it's so like, you know what I'm saying, it's fucking like more intense.
Like even the Internet of Things, like you have technology, like you can preheat your oven on your fucking commute back from work on your way home. Like you can do shit like that. Like, you know, like you might, you know, maybe people might, and that's another thing too, I'm always conscious of. It's like, just because you can't fathom it doesn't even necessarily mean doesn't exist. Like, never mind, oh well, this happen or shit like this. Like, no,
somebody's
like,
probably working on
that. It's right now, it's out. Like, but due to what you pay attention to, you wouldn't have known, or you would have relied on how you get your information to tell you this is out here. Like, I'm sure if we go to Silicon Valley right now, we would hear and see and experience shit that otherwise we probably wouldn't have seen till next year, or maybe 2023 or 2024. But like right now, you can see it and experience it and see is actually in the society.
Real use cases.
I think that's really funny. Then what about talking about countries outside of the US? So like a third world country, like, well, when do you actually can conceive that this is an actual thing? Maybe 10 years, 15 years. So 100%. It's like, it's so fucking crazy. And just speaking to your points, just like shit's changing every day. And can you ever really fully ever be caught up to it? I guess the more you surround yourself and you build a team, it's like you're always in the mix, you're always in the know, but then you always have to vet your information as well. And so it's like, day by day process, history being made every day. We're learning every day. And as long as like, I feel like we prioritize adapting, it's like, then we'll always be okay. We'll always be good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll always be good. But that's not easier said than done. 100%. Adaptation is not like some joyous.
It's not a joyous thing,
but you got to do it. So
you got to do it. 100%. Moms, shout out to the moms. Bro, like just real quick, like, do you have any? I mean, I know we all appreciate our moms, but like, what's your? Do you got any Mother's Day plans? Like anything like that?
Yeah, Mother's Day plans. So I'm trying to see a little consensus real quick, how they feeling, as opposed to going out route, or just getting something catered. Nice restaurants. Going ahead, putting the order in. Like the days before, that's a fuck up. Don't order on Mother's Day if you're trying to do some catered shit. Like,
make that decision now. Make that decision now.
Yeah, probably put a little order for a nice bouquet today and shit too. But yeah, just trying to plan that with my father and my sis right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, yeah, my Duke's like definitely like one of the saints in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like she definitely. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, my mom and my sister, they like saints in my life. I'll be like, damn, y'all just also.
That's crazy. Like always there when you need them type shit.
Yeah, I mean that for sure. But when I say that, I wasn't more in that context. It was just more something like, damn, y'all just like good people, like good people all the way through. And not to say that I'm like, damn, I don't view myself as saint, so I'm not a good. Like, nah, not at all. I just be like, damn, like. I don't know, they're just so thorough to me. They're so thorough, so solid. You know what I'm saying?
I hear that.
Like, and never that I like, I guess, compare shit like that. But it's like I just I have a certain perspective when it comes to women, just because of the women that I've had in my life leading up to this point. So I don't go making generalizations about women. It could be all types of women.
Yeah. 100%.
So, and I just be like, damn, shout out to them just being so very like 28 years of consistency. My sister, my sister,
big fact.
My sister's well, I'm about to turn 28. So I'm 27, about to turn 28 next week. And my sister, 420 is her birthday, so she's 26.
Yeah,
I mean 20. Yeah, 26. But
so y'all 2 years apart? 1 year apart?
Yeah, technically a year and
about a year,
technically around 2
some change.
Years.
That's crazy, bro. I feel that, bro. Like my mom, I love my mom, but something that's very interesting about her is just that, like, yeah, she's never folded on me, dog. Not that I've ever expected her to, but it's like,
because parents fold sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes that's true. And I don't know, man. I really have empathy for people who like don't get along with their I mean, their parents, but like also their moms and stuff like that. Because some people got toxic mothers. Some people got like, just unpleasant mothers, or mothers they literally can't even like, they got to like cut off. And I just kind of feel for that, because I couldn't imagine like having that. And what's crazy is I feel like when I was younger, like, what's crazy is when I was young, we was kind of talking about this the other day, like how, the mom, or at least our moms, we were kind of resonating with each other in the sense that like our moms have always been the more nurturing, caring ones. Obviously, that's literally my mother characteristics, but more in the sense, play that. Yeah, 100%. But more in the sense of like, they're not going to like discipline us. They'll leave that to our fathers. But we definitely know that you know, you don't want to disappoint them. Like I'm like me, I used to grow up, I grew up with this whole like, I do not want to disappoint my mom's type like feeling. It was like this kind of guilt thing that I kind of had like resentment for like when I became like a young when I became like a young adult. I used to be like, dog, like I remember when I was working at Forever 21, and I tell this story a lot because it really like changed my perspective in adulthood. I was working at Forever 21 and I was just about to graduate from Hampton. And one of my really good friends, she was my manager there. Just kind of like ended up being one of my really good friends, but she asked me like what my plans were after school, and I was like, I don't know why it just came out. I think my mom. I was like, I don't know. My mom wants me to go to grad school. She was like, let me know when your mom stops making your decisions. I was like, ouch. Like, but also I was thinking like, damn, like it's crazy that like I've always kind of had this, or not always. I don't really have it much anymore, but like I grew up with this kind of just like, oh, I don't want to like disappoint her. I want to do things that make her, you know, happy. And oddly enough, when I started like doing me, it was inevitably what, like, you know what I'm saying, made her happy. Like I like one of the most joyous things that like is happening in my life right now.
Coming into your own, man.
Yeah, as I'm coming into my own is like I'm helping my family as well, right? And my mom is like the first person, or the most she most often tells me like how thankful she is for me, how like how much I'm a help to her. You know what I mean? She's like always like speaking on her gratitude towards me, which is it's cool because like I you know, there's not really many people that will do that consistently. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, don't get me wrong, anytime anybody does it, it's cool, it's a blessing. But sometimes we forget, you know, like, you know, somebody gives you a compliment 3 weeks later, that shit is, you know, 3 days later, that shit is gone. Like you start, you know, doubting yourself again. You know what I'm saying? So my mom has a good way of consistently like gassing me, you know what I'm saying, in the most humble way. You know what I mean? And that I just kind of noticed that more recently.
You just become really conscious of your value in that moment.
100%, 100%. That's like, very well put.
If you notice that, like, I really.
And what's crazy is because, you know, we all have that. Oh, I want to, you know, grow up and do this for my mom, or I want to like pay her back in that way. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
House.
Yeah, all that type of shit. And I 100% had that. Like, I want to give her this. I want to do this for her, and that's going to be the big payback. You know what I mean? But nah, I realized like, no, like she already feels like I'm giving everything back to her, bro. Like she already feels like that. I was telling you how, you know, I mean, a lot of people know that I literally run her business, and I don't think people understand what that means. Like, I don't know. It's not that I'm here to like clear the air or anything, but like I know people think that it probably
fewer people.
Yeah, probably. Oh, like he, you know, he's the assistant.
Oh, do you run your mother's?
Yeah,
business?
You run
like,
your
I
mom's business.
And I run my own, so it's a little different.
Yeah, but also like just the understanding of what that means is like I don't know if people who haven't like actually worked in a family business, I don't know if they understand what it's like. And of course, all outfits don't look the same. But in some of the family businesses I've been around, because I kind of grew up in different family businesses, and some of the ones that I've been around, it's like I'm gonna use my mom's case. My mom is a nurse. You know what I'm saying? She has a nursing agency, but she don't really know business at all. She's a great nurse. You know what I'm saying? Being great at what you do don't translate to running a great business. We both know that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. There's other things, you know what I'm saying? But even though I'm saying that my mom is a great businesswoman, I'm looking at what she's built like before I got there, and I'm baffled. I'm like, how did this woman build this? I mean, yeah, I've propelled it, but like I'm baffled by like what she built for herself. You know what I'm saying? Just because I know her and I know what she's capable of and not capable of, and you know, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to start from scratch with, you know what I'm saying, my own thing, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? How did she do this? You know what I'm saying? So that has kind of built up a whole new level of respect in me for her in this world. You know what I'm saying? But
because we don't, I mean, one thing that just by default that you're not even necessarily going to go through it, you got to even give, and this is something that we can share, right? Like, you were born here, not Nigeria, right?
Yeah, I
So
was
we're
born here.
both first generation over here. And it's
Yeah.
like, man, we can never even really speak on the path for our parents, like what it was
way harder
from there to even come here. Like,
yeah.
I always speak
And
on
start over.
I always speak on the fact it's like there is a point in time where both of our parents were in a position in their lives where they're like, I couldn't fathom having the life that they're living
that
now.
they have. Yeah.
And back, like, 100%. If we take it 35 years ago, like I'm like dog, 31. I don't see, like, you know,
yeah,
like, you know, but fucking so in a way, their personal dreams, because sometimes you'll look at, like, I feel like some people will look at their parents in a light where it's like, why did you do this or that, like things of this nature? But sometimes they don't even know, like, you don't even know, like, how I view what I've accomplished to this point. So although, like, you looking at it, it's like there's different things that I had to really conquer. So, like, I had to adjust as I went. And to be honest, like, this is the dream. But now my dreams further, no, it's not personal. It's more so to see y'all win. Like, that's 100%. The dream now. Like, and the reason why you might have those moments where it's like might not see eye to eye, or there's like you feel like there's just so much clashing and shit like that, is because they're literally trying to fight with, they're thinking that this is the actual best idea for you, or this is the best way. So the intention is aligned, like the intention for the most part, right? For the most part, parents' intentions are aligned with what their child wants. But in terms of the means to go about it, because you come from a different tradition, you come from a different culture, you probably
think there's a different way of getting it.
Exactly. Or you think there is a one way to get it, but you're literally being, I don't want to say ignorant, but you're not considering the fact that it's like, or maybe you do, but just don't understand how huge of an impact it is, where it's like to come from one whole society and transition into a whole other society, as opposed to just coming up into a society, right? And it's like, even the economic structures are different. Like, we're talking fucking, like, at least in my case, like Ethiopia, so boom, 30 minutes from the fucking nation's capital, DC, you know, where it is recognized by the fucking world. So it's just a big shift. So yeah, just speaking more so in terms of like sacrifices, in terms of how they probably feel about where they are in life right now, they, you know, they definitely feel like they won, you know. So just to see us getting it now in our age, you know what I'm saying? They probably think back to when they were our age, like, damn, like, when I was 31, I was not on this type shit. When I was 27, I was not on that type of shit. I'll tell you what I was focused on. Like, I was trying to get married. Like, like trying to start a family. Like, it's wild, you know. But yeah, bro.
Nah, I hear that. Yeah, I can't say enough how much I'm appreciative of my moms and stuff like that. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yeah.
Hope y'all have a good Sunday. Let's take a little bit of a commercial break.
We right back. We're early.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
What up, TJ? See that. Okay. What up, Dust? Oh, Zane tuned in. What up, Zane? Stars. Will, Lowe's. We out here. Hey, Sai, tapping in from Wheaton, Maryland. Yes, sir. I love it. We got good tappings today. What's good, Swizz? This is dope. This is dope. You want to get into a slight current before we get into that other topic, I guess, with the Gates, I guess, like the Aaron Rodgers and shit like that, real quick. Because that shit is kind of crazy. Hey, hold on. Before you bring, can you run one more joint? Okay. I see the color profile that you wanted. There's a whole other coat. You want it more cooler. Okay. Yeah, I made it brighter, but I think this is exactly what you want. Just talking. That.
Yeah.
I was like, I peeped. I was like, ah. What's good, Brody? What's good, Brody? Aaron, you had to pay attention really when when the shift had happened within the actual franchise. So first they let Mike McCarthy go, and he was he was accredited. He had his bowl, so he had respect. But at the same time, too, what was like the general consensus was he was kind of outdated in terms of how the league was transforming. So they needed some we needed some new blood up in there because you literally have at this point, and this is really before even Mahomes is literally like, yo, Mahomes is the greatest thing ever. But everybody's still seen his trajectory. Everybody's like, yo, Aaron Rodgers is like, the most talented quarterback ever. Like, this is your guy, and you're not really surrounding him with anything.
Yeah.
But now shout out to dudes like Devontae Adams, and now I was. Apologies, I'm not remembering his running back because he was really killing shit too. But fucking, he has a little squad right now.
I want to say Aaron Jones, but that's not.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Aaron but yeah, so he got a little squad now. But first of all, it's really his relationship with the management. They didn't really consult him in terms of who they wanted to get for the new head coach. So that's one thing. Another thing is moving up in the draft to draft a quarterback in the first round when you literally like, how about helping me out?
Yeah.
Like, how about helping me out? Yeah. Like, backup quarterback doesn't help me on this field.
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, wait, so I had a down 26 touchdowns, 4 picks, down year. Ooh, okay. This is pretty efficient.
He only threw four picks in the season?
Yeah, and that was the down. That was like the down year. No, he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't. So again, it's
because even 26 touchdowns.
It's just kind of weird how it's just kind of like, damn, like you would think that's pretty well for like at least the games that I played. But obviously, like A-Rod is way more capable of that, sure.
Yeah.
But then what happened this season? Like 46 and 8 MVP, and they repeat the record. They had the same record, 13-3, 13-3. Now it's like, even though he didn't have a choice in choosing the coach, like they're building some type of rapport. Something's working. So I guess it's working like that. But then even when you look at one of the plays within the game in the NFC Championship, like took the decision out of Aaron Rodgers' hand. Like, why didn't you just let Aaron Rodgers for the fourth down instead of pass the joint? What did they? I think they just punted the joint. It was like, yo, why are you giving the ball to Tom Brady and daring him to do like one of the last point drives? Like, why would you do that? So, and then again, that's Aaron also. So, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? Because there's no even like fourth down is one thing if they're like, yo, run the ball. Aaron Rodgers could be on a joint called audible, like, fuck that. Like, I'm passing it. But you're sending the kicking team out, like, all right, fuck you guys. Like, what the fuck?
I hear that.
And now I'm just talking about compounding. Like, you're starting to, if you're Aaron, you're like, son, these niggas really don't give a fuck about what I got my input. Like, that's kind of crazy, though, because you would think, well, what entails or what gives me the even reason to believe I should give input? Let me see.
Yeah.
Go back in your resume, you see that shit. So now he's just at a point where it's like, fuck it. Now I'm more so off some, Green Bay, y'all fucked it up. Y'all fucked the bag up. Yeah. Because y'all will probably have to trade him. Because Aaron is probably the dude that will be like, I'm cool off this. I will sit. I don't care. Like, I'm good. Like, he really do be talking about how he has other interests and shit like that. Like, everybody been joking at, but I'm like, in this type of day and age society, it would be very funny if Green Bay tries to make this shit difficult and we do see Aaron Rodgers hosting a Jeopardy episode.
Like,
just awesome. Damn.
I hear that.
Aaron's really playing with these people. Bro.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, like,
okay, so so thanks for getting me up to speed. Yeah.
So how you feel about that? Like, it's kind of like,
I hear that. Well, you know what I'm saying? I feel like
he's saying they need a new GM. That's where he's his old take. He wants to leave, but it's because of the GM more so than the coach or anything like that. He's just like, get rid of the GM.
I hear that. I was it was kind of, again, bro, I'm coming off of kind of waking up and seeing Deshaun Watson went out of Houston, waking up and seeing Aaron Rodgers when I agree. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then even there was talks about Russell Wilson winning out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, I guess it's that summer that quarterbacks are just summer. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not that they're being divas, but they're like, I'm out. No, maybe out. If this is that summer, then this is that summer. Fine.
Taking advantage how they can. They're like, if I got the leverage,
100%.
No, y'all would use it on me.
Yeah. Big
100 out of 100 times.
I have no reason to show loyalty or like, or to not make things difficult for you.
And let's, it's very funny. Like, and that's one thing, when I talk sports with a lot of people, I know people talk from a lot of fan perspective, and sometimes I think like people will step outside of that and then understand why players will go about like that's sometimes when people be like player averse in terms of like how the player goes about how they like go about it, I'm like, no, they should play business. They literally should do that. I mean,
motherfuckers be like, oh, like, why are you holding out?
Bro,
like,
what's
about
the team? And I'm like, about, the prime example I always think about nowadays, because this is a prime example of somebody's like, if you don't, I promise you, you will never get this opportunity again. A dude like Isaiah Thomas. Like, this is insane. He had a little hip injury during that series against the Wizards.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his sister passed that week.
Yeah, I remember. Remember?
And he went out and gave us a legendary performance, 52-point buckets on the Wizards, and that led to them actually winning the series. But what happened when you knew that team wasn't going to go, like, you're not going to win the ship, but he put his heart out on the line, did that shit, lost. What happens in the offseason? Oh, you really have to get surgery and all this shit. You were really about to collect you're about to get 100 plus. That contract was coming to you. You're injured. Somehow, some way, Danny Ainge does the biggest finesse of all time and trades him to the Cavaliers, and they give up Kyrie. They give him up in that package deal. I was really like, yo, do you have like what type of information do you have? Like, you must have like a trump card on Gibson, because this is how'd you get this trade off? And because I didn't even play till the second half of that season. And guess what? No more 100 million. What,
bro?
You see how we came into the season?
Around.
He literally came
Wizards for a little bit.
He didn't even finish the season on the Cavs. They let him go before the playoffs.
Yeah.
No 100 mil. What?
Yeah.
No. Now where's IT? He is a free agent. Play the game. Really what I see to this, and this is so crazy to say this to a fucking baller. He shouldn't have played and gave his heart out and fucked up, like further fucked this shit up.
Yeah. Motherfuckers don't want to hear that, but that's the thing. Like, it's not not about.
I'm not blaming age,
bro,
but I'm more so
bro,
don't blame the player for doing what they gotta do.
Remember, it was yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, or it was a couple days ago.
Shout out Daryl Reeves.
We were just talking about how the people who kind of succeed in the business sense never really do what like people want them to do. You know what I'm saying? And to that point, like, a lot of fans be wanting the players to play. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever, they don't care what the fuck is going on with contracts. They don't care what the fuck is going on in your personal life. They want you to play. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like sometimes that's not the smart decision. You know what I'm saying? And if you break it down for them, they don't even want to hear the explanation. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of goes to the point of what we were saying about like CEOs and stuff like that. And we're gonna talk about Bill and Melinda Gates a little later, but like it goes back to the conversation we were talking about CEOs in the sense of like, if you listen to social media, you listen to society, they never really want you to do the things that like make a business a great business, like, and I'm talking like a legendary like type Amazon or like Sears before Amazon, or like what I'm saying, like one of those like Coca-Cola, what I'm saying, like one of those like legendary businesses. You never do the things that like it's counter. It's not that it's counterintuitive. It's that like,
you said
to
like,
succeed, you wouldn't do like it's opposite of
human nature to I guess to move in alignment with actually creating that. Like you have to literally have like conscious intent to do this type of thing, and then you have to be able to amplify it over and over.
And sometimes it don't look pretty, or it don't look like how we would like to receive it. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like there's two thought processes. There's people that are going to really try to solve problems and try to solve it and identify it within their scope, or like, this is how I want shit to be done, or this is how I want to get it done. And then there are other individuals that realize it's like, no, sometimes you have to take a step back. It's like, no, I can't approach it like this. I'll have to approach it like that. I don't know how to approach it like that. I'll have to find people that do, and then I'll have to learn it. Like, it's so much more problem solving, and it's so much more putting yourself in uncomfortable positions versus, no, from this position of comfort, I'll be able to make it work. Like, this works for me. So now, like, and sometimes it's not about what works for you. You know what I'm saying? It's just constant problem solving. Once you solve one problem, you have to solve the next problem, as opposed
100%.
to thinking everything is not.
Everything's settled.
It keeps going.
Everything's
like,
settled.
What about next year?
Yeah.
What about the year before?
Like next week.
You could work on that. Yeah. So it's always going, and it's just literally. But the beautiful thing is, it's literally, I feel like, a flip of a switch. Because once people actually realize that's like two different ways to go about shit, then you could be like, oh, I have that choice. Like, you can choose to either go about shit one way or the other, as opposed to just thinking, this is the way. Like, and it's not working. And people don't also realize, it's like, yo, gauge your results. If your results are the same over a long period of time, like, you're tripping. Like, do you evaluate? Do you take the time to evaluate what's,
I hear that. Do you have any speculation on what happens with A-Rod? I saw that fucking shit. If the Washington football team can make a play for A-Rod, no. I saw
who are they
Washington football team.
No, who?
Bro, I saw. I don't know how official this is because I saw it on
the NFC. They're not going to keep him in the conference either. The NFC. They're sending him out.
I hear that, but I don't know where. I don't know if
they
this
say
is
a strong suitor for those Broncos.
Broncos, I saw that.
I was like, I mean, that
it showed a list on ESPN.
It would be beautiful. Like what they did with Peyton, like. No, they could really do it with Rodgers. Like, he would really run it.
That'd be crazy. It showed a list on ESPN of like the most likely suitors, and
Saints would be nice.
Denver was on the top of that list. Washington was second on that list. As far as who you give up, I think they were talking about Fitzpatrick. No, hear me out.
I know. Hey, y'all need a quarterback. Here, Fitz.
Take this one.
Yeah, 10 plus.
Just take this one.
Good experience.
Plus,
he's always available.
I think they was talking about Ionitis. I think they're talking about Ionitis. Fucking, I don't know if you know Matt Ionitis, the D tackle. He's like all pro. He's nice.
Okay. Yeah.
I think them two and like a bunch of draft picks is what they were talking about in the package. But that was just reports, and it showed the list.
Aaron Rodgers or
Nigga, I don't even know.
In terms of need, like if Aaron Rodgers, I'll put it like that. If Aaron Rodgers went to the Washington football team, that would be very significant. That's very significant.
It's lit.
The defense is already like ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm like, realistically, I'm like, no, I don't, doesn't make sense.
We'll see how it plays out. Yeah. We'll see how it plays out. Let's get into the Bill and Melinda Gates thing.
Yeah.
Bill and Melinda Gates calling it quits after what? How many years? Fucking, what was it? 21, 20 something? 21 sounds short. I think it was 21, but that sounds short. That sounds short. Bill's old.
I think they got married in 94, so probably I think it's like 20.
Okay.
20 years, so it's almost 30.
What do you think about that?
I mean, no, it was just, I was more so like, it's funny, bro, because I usually don't even really be having takes on it. I'm like, okay, it happened, right? And then, but like I told you, it was interesting because when we had talked about it previously, I was like, I actually went to this clubhouse room today, and people that I care to hear their opinions on certain things. I didn't know they would really talk about some shit like this. So it was very interesting to hear other people's opinions on why something like that would happen.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people were assuming like the emotional perspective.
You said what, like why something like that would happen?
Yeah, it's in terms of like I was just sitting back as like a lot of people would be like, oh, she's probably not satisfied, and or maybe
I saw a lot of that.
Maybe Bill was cheating, and
oh my God,
and I was like, I was just like, I'm like, word. I'm like, I don't think that at all.
I don't.
But I was like, that's what I guess. But also, I'm like, I guess I see how you think that, but then I also like thinking things in another perspective where I'm like, well, everybody knows Bill Gates. Nobody talks necessarily about Melinda Gates, but like in her own right,
everybody talking. Motherfuckers talking about Melinda. Motherfuckers talking about Melinda Gates.
But this is the thing, and you're right. You're right, and she like. Not to even minimize her in any way. I'm more so talking on a general consensus. People know like Bill Gates is a brand name, right? So like people know Bill Gates. You're not gonna know Melinda Gates unless you actually pay attention, like you're aware of what the Gates actually do. You'll be like, oh, he has a wife. So yeah. But I'm like, nah, but like on her own too, it's like it's not necessarily one of those relationships where like they've done a lot of things together. Like that foundation has her name on it as well too. She's a billionaire in her own right.
That's big fact. She was one of the early employees at Windows.
Yep.
She was one of the first people there.
Yeah. So like, to
your point,
another take that I was gonna say like another that I heard is like another lady was like, maybe she just doesn't want to be in that shadow, or maybe she just wants to, maybe she has her own ventures or other things that she wants to focus on.
I was
going
to say, when you said something about the whole people were talking about like it being an emotional thing. Right, it's not, I don't even mean to laugh like it can't be, but like the thing is, bro, I don't, because I mean, and this is all speculation. I don't necessarily usually care about people's relationships either, but I do think it's interesting because you know, I think it points to kind of something that's going on with like I'm interested more in high level people, like how they relate with other people. You know what I'm saying? Or like with other high level people, or just like how they relate in their like regular relationships outside of like business or what we might know them for. You know what I'm saying? So when we look at some of these bro, like when we look at some of these high achieving people, and even when I read up on some of the high achieving people that, you know what I'm saying, I've fucked with over history and over time, like a lot of their interpersonal relationships are like not the best. You know what I'm saying? If you like look into that shit, you'll find that. But also too, like I do think there's something to be said about the consistency of having like a partner that you can depend on and rely on consistently for a long period of time. Like I feel like in Bill and Melinda Gates situation, I feel like Bill Gates wouldn't be who he is if it wasn't for her a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
And I think because she's so high, because she's that, and she's got her own things like that. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's an emotional thing. I think it's more what the second thing you were saying, where it's like it's maybe she just, you know, wants to do her own thing, and maybe he wants to do her own thing, and maybe they kind of realize like, okay, like we don't need to be married anymore to like, you know what I'm saying? 100%. We don't need to carry out the rest of our lives just like married if we don't fuck with each other on a friendship, like literally like a friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend type level. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, and
I just mean like the romance part. Like if the romance isn't there, it's like, okay, if we're just business partners, then we don't need to be married.
No, and to that point, I'll say, well, yeah, women are definitely like the greatest amplifiers, you know. But at the same time too, I think sometimes, you know, it's nice and it's cool, you know, people like to romanticize, you know, marriage, but literally in essence, marriage is a business contract. There's actually laws that, you know, you're literally going to be treated differently and how things are handled differently, like whether you're married or whether you're single, things of that nature. So a lot of people may view marriage, depending on your background and how you came up and where you are in the world, marriage is a partnership. I'm literally viewing it like that, you know?
Yeah.
I know there's probably many marriages that is, you know, it's not necessarily the understanding of marriage as people would think, but like there's probably marriages that understand they're probably promiscuous within the marriage, but they're like the marriage is just
the marriage
at
is
the end
strong.
of the day, there's more pros.
There's big facts.
It's more beneficial that it's like this than people actually be moving like that. And I'm not necessarily even saying that was the case with them too, but it's just interesting. Like you said, like maybe it just ran its course.
I think with older people too, like the romanticizing of things starts to go out the window a little bit. Not to say that old people can't romanticize
and I think to be honest, I feel like sometimes old people, like if you've been able to witness it or not, you might even see the realest displays of romance.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Coming from a
100%. It's like it's more of a like older people have this like, I don't care about like it's they stop. I think when you get to a certain age, or like as you start to develop in a certain way, you really care less about what other people think about like you and what you got going on. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So like what I kind of tend to notice with older people is that, you know, if they love you, they love you. They won't like in a relationship. If like Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, for example, if they love each other, they would love each other and they would stay together. If they didn't care to like do this anymore and they were kind of growing this way more, it's nothing for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, dog, like we are who we are. We're not gonna, just because it would be the more romantic thing to do to stay together and ride this out. We're not gonna do that just because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a, oh, what would people think type thing.
Yeah, but then we also did mention the take, or it's like, or they can really just be cheers and champagne.
Yeah, like, it was like, a great run. We did exactly what we planned to do.
We have the whole world like talking about this whole shit. Like, we did this because now this allows us to do this.
I was about to say, outside of
married, so now we can continue to move forward. And now they might even change their foundation. Like,
outside of it being news and like toasting to that, it's like, bro, like they could toast to what Windows became because they just like were together, bro. Actually,
they
this
call
kind
that
of
the Bill and Melinda Foundation.
100%.
They don't even say like
100%. And what's crazy is I saw there's a documentary on Netflix about a foundation that Melinda Gates has on her own, where she like, brings up young girls in tech, young I think primarily like POC women, brings them up in tech, like literally like.
It's tough.
I can't remember. I mean, I watched the documentary. I can't even remember where I watched it. It was like on Netflix, I think. But I'm sure somebody out there can either drop it in the comments or
it's even to speak to just
let me know what it is.
About Melinda, there's a lot of and I can't even see. I have to do my due diligence because that is shit that really interests me. There's a lot of women in this world that are really like fucking bosses.
Yeah,
like there's a couple women that are billionaires on that billionaire list, like really doing things.
That's crazy. Yeah,
like my husband, he associated to me, he a boss on his own right, but they know me.
Yeah,
like how I was just thinking about Bill Gates and Melinda, and of course, if you're aware, Melinda in her own right, what I'm saying, is a boss. But like a lot of people on the public face, they just recognize Bill. Like there's a lot of ways it works vice versa too. A lot of women out here killing.
That's
shit.
a big fact. That's
killing
a big fact.
Shit.
That's a big fact. And what's crazy is in this situation. So like a lot of people were comparing it, at least on social media, we're comparing it to the Jeff Bezos and totally different, dog. Totally different. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to talk like I know Mackenzie Bezos's track record or history, but the fact that I don't is why it is different. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not Melinda Gates. You know what I'm saying? As far as like what she gets done, I don't know. I just don't know. So like her, like she's on that list because like of Jeff Bezos more so, and it's not even a knock on her. Like more power to her. I'm sure Jeff Bezos wouldn't be who he is because if it wasn't for her either. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want to ask a question about like how for you at least like your focus changes if you're like with somebody or not with somebody, because I feel like in the sense in maybe for these guys and for a lot of other guys that I've kind of seen as far as like looking up to, you know what I'm saying, like Jay-Z for example, you know what I'm saying, like they like having one shorty that you're focused on, it kind of can eliminate distraction. Whereas sometimes we see it as like, I'm not going to say I've seen it sometimes. It's like having a shorty is a distraction for me sometimes, but like also like not having one is now you're just looking at every shorty that walks by or like distracted by every shorty that walks by. It's like sometimes, your focus can get if you're like goal oriented like us, if you're on a mission, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And
like us, I feel like sometimes your focus can get diverted, and having one shorty that, you know what I'm saying, that's like riding for you. And what's crazy is taking care of the things outside of, your mission. Cause like at the end of the day, we're human beings. We need, we need to be having clean clothes. We need to be having, and I'm not trying to say like women just are domestic help. I'm not trying to say that, but it's like, if that's what you need and your partner is that for you, that's a big boost. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
In a way that you can focus on your mission. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but I'm not saying that's not what Melinda Gates was. Melinda Gates,
but more so, like even just like in that ilk, is just like somebody that resonates with you, like you with them because they resonate with your values, same systems and shit like that. Like that, the women just for so many reasons to just amplify whatever it is that you need. And really what it is kind of like just it sharpens your focus towards shit, right? Because now you're thinking about yourselves as a collective more so than even yourself too. Like, you know what I'm saying? As opposed to like, you know what I'm saying, not having a shorty, it's like, you definitely could be more susceptible to your shit being diverted. And it's like, but you still have this at hand that you got to get done. And that's not going to get done unless you're on it. You know what I'm saying? And having a shorty per se, you can say it could distract, but it's not really that can't really distract you unless you get to a point where now that's,
you're allowing it to.
But it shouldn't have even got to that point. So, you know what I'm saying? But no, I only feel it's helpful. But you know what I'm saying? That's only if you go like you got like intent within a relationship where it's like, yo, you gonna grow together as opposed to trying to change each other.
Yeah,
like that shit don't work.
Yeah,
you gotta grow together, and then it's like there's gonna be like I don't want to say like a meeting of the minds, if you will. It's like boom, it's like
somewhat
you progressing and what it is that you're doing and all of this type of shit, and like also being real in terms of the accountability as opposed to letting shit build up. And it's like, oh, you had a problem, but you feeling this type of way. But it's like if you felt like if you said something, it's like, damn, why wasn't we communicating off buck? You know what I'm saying? But
if I were to give my 2 cents on, if I were to give my 2 cents on like the Bill and Melinda situation, I feel like that's kind of what it was. Like they grew together, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and now it's like, okay, we're starting to like get to a point where kind of growing apart, and it's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. Like it don't serve us to continue to just be together just because we've been together. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like they're both like computers. You know what I'm saying? Like this operating system is not operating how it should. Like let's like fix it up. You know what I'm saying? Or switch it up. So I feel like
TJ, look what TJ said. Exactly.
Yeah, I put it up, you know, and I agree. Like having the right life partner in this life is vital. They'll either empower you or they'll hold you back. And that's I couldn't agree with that more. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the great point. And that's kind of the point to you know, Bill and Melinda. I mean, we can run down all these couples who were married. Like if you get married, it's because somebody's bringing something like that into your life, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's for a moment. And I'm really big on these, like people love to talk about like, okay, we were together for X amount of years, now we're not together anymore. That X amount of years was a waste of time. No, it was if you think it was a waste of time, that's your prerogative.
But you know, if somebody says it's a waste of time, I don't want to say assumptions, but it's like if that's your line of thinking when it comes to that, then there's probably many lessons that you're missing in life.
You missed so many,
are a waste of
and that's
time.
what I'm saying.
How
like,
could you think something like that was a waste of time? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you invested a lot of time.
You invested a lot of your time.
You didn't learn anything.
You didn't. Okay, you can't come out on the other side with anything.
If you didn't learn anything, you're right.
This thing has to just go on forever for it to be worth it for you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like, that's crazy to me. Like it's crazy to me. Like I've said out loud to people that like I don't think it's any issue if you know people are just together for like 2-3 years and they just part ways. Like and they just part ways. And people be looking at me like I'm like blasphemous for like thinking that way. And I'm like, nah, like bro, like you're high school, like when you were in high school, when you were in middle school, when you were in elementary school, the people that you crossed in those lives, they are in those time periods. They impacted you. You know what I'm saying? Like they impacted you. Some of them did not go on to the next phase with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe you wish some of them would have, and they didn't. So maybe they wish that they would have, and you didn't allow them to. But you know, everybody don't make it into every single phase of your life, and it's not a knock on what that moment was with that person. It's not a knock in my eyes. It's not a knock on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just we just had to go in different directions.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just a matter of you don't gotta fight resistance in that way, right? It's like if you're going in this direction, this is the direction you should be headed. You shouldn't be constantly trying to look back and trying to pull something that's headed in another direction.
Big facts.
You're wasting time. You should be further down your path.
Yeah. It's like that what's for you is for you type thing. That's what I hear about. That's what I think of.
You know what I always like to say too? It's like, it's funny how, bridges reconnect, and it's funny how we meet back up.
Big
not to say that's how it go, but sometimes it do.
Sometimes it do. And sometimes it do. And it's cool when it works out.
You'd be like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's very cool how, you know what I'm saying? You grow initially, boom. Long period of time,
bro. The thing about social media
is very, very interesting.
Something I love about social media is that you can keep it's a good and a bad thing, but you can keep up with like people even if they're not in your life anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's cool to like get on Facebook or get on Instagram and stumble upon someone you haven't seen in a long time, maybe even forgot about, and just like see that like they're popping or they're doing something cool. You know what I'm saying? That sometimes that's cool, bro. Crazy. This just happened the other day. Shout out to if anybody still remembers Nuri Hazard. I went to high school with this dude and fucking completely forgot about this guy. Completely forgot about him. It's not like we were like mad cool or anything, but like I remember him from school, right? Mm-hmm. And I was watching Wu-Tang, the you ever seen the series they got on Hulu?
Nah, I didn't see it.
Very tough.
Okay.
It's very tough. I was watching it and he was in it. He was like a character in it, like a kid I went to high school with. And I didn't even I recognized him, but I was like, that can't be it. I was like, that can't be this nigga. Like I completely forgot about him. But that's just kind of that point of like, I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like I'm watching this show. I'm like, this show was like great.
Right.
It was like, it's up there as far as like interesting, entertaining shows. And of course it's Wu-Tang, like, you know, their story. So it's cool to see how it plays out. But yeah, like this nigga was just in that joint. He's just a character. He was a character. He had a couple lines, like he was a character in that joint. And I was like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's like the most clearest example of that, where it's like, you know, it's cool to sometimes like see somebody that you haven't like, you know, encountered in a long time, and they're doing something cool. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So I do think there's something to the whole people can be beneficial in people's lives for a moment, and then when that moment's over, you know, when they divorce from each other, so to speak, exactly. They don't gotta be oh well, what happened, where's the turmoil? I mean, but the thing is, who's to say that there was something, of course, between them, like between them, of course there's something, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise they would just stay together. But it don't gotta be a like one person emotionally wrecked the other, or any kind of like malice type narrative. There don't got to be any kind of malintent towards it or behind it.
Man, you got a whole fucking family. Y'all got several kids. Like
they're grown. They're adult kids, aren't they?
Good. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Like they've done it. Yeah, like
it's good. Like
pat yourselves on the back. You guys had a good. You guys had a great.
People are like, oh, it's because they got more will. Like they publicly stated, we're not giving our kids that much.
Oh
money.
No. Like, I think they've already done. All of their money's going towards the.
You feel me? Like everything's squared away. They're like, trust me, this is not about like
100%. It can't be. It's nothing about, bro. It's crazy. I feel like, bro, when you get to a certain level of wealth, like their level of wealth, it's all imaginary, bro. Because like even like look at how wealth is being distributed right now. Look at what's happening with wealth right now. The way that this shit is going, like, especially in this crypto space. Like I mean, that's kind of what just has made me realize it is all. I'm not saying that like it's because of the crypto space. It's made me realize that like there's a lot of wealth to go around. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you're a Bill Gates type person, like I don't even think money is a thing to him. It's like water. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like he turns on the faucet, he turns off the faucet. Like if he just needs it, turn it on. If I don't need it, turn it off. Like, but outside of that, I do not think or care. Like it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like money can't be the motivator behind these decisions. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jeff Bezos, you know, half of his wealth is going to his wife, and he's still in the top 2 of richest people in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense, but it also makes sense in the sense of like these niggas can't care about the shit. I mean, not even that they can't. It's like, why would they? Like, it's there. It's there.
They're like, you know that. These people are like, these are highly competitive people. It is not like, and you know, they provide these solutions and all this shit to the world, but it's like, it's really not a money game. It's really about an accomplishing game. It's really about pushing the capability of what one can do. You know what I'm saying? What one can build. And that's the game that at that level, a lot of people are playing, right? Like, look, you have Elon and then you have Jeff, and people will think it's like, oh, you know, they're both, you know, doing space exploration. Trust me, each one is trying to shit.
On the other.
They're literally trying to shit on. That is literally what's happening behind the like. You know, you see everybody that having a shine shit, but that's like the competition. Like Jeff Bezos said, "Fuck this Amazon shit." This nigga Elon is going crazy. I'm on my like. Hey, I already got shit. I'm already ready. Like,
he's trying to build colony on Mars.
Shorty, she's tripping. Like divorce. Like
she's not with the mission.
Like
she said, James, this is not what I signed up for.
Take the bread. Like take the bread.
This is not what I signed up for, Jeff. I don't want to. I'm not gonna sit back and watch you go to the moon.
Believe me, I see this shorty.
You can go.
Yeah, you see this you can go. She's fucking with me.
Well, wait, she got like a teacher or something now?
Got a bad look. Hey, bro, yo, Jeff is funny.
Oh no, Jeff Bezos got another shorty. I heard Mackenzie Bezos got like another dude.
Word, okay,
they was probably separated before they were separated.
Exactly, like that's a little different vibe.
Let's just make it official.
That's a different vibe. But yeah, you know, just on some different type shit, man.
Yeah, man. So that's that, man. I feel like that's that. There's not much more to say about that. As far as like the relationships go, I do. Yeah, I've always thought it's interesting about like how high achievers, how they are in relationships, because it's interesting to me. But let's see what you got going on this weekend, bro. Let's get ready to get out of here.
What do I got going on this weekend? Got to shoot later today.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, just regular edits, watching these charts and shit. Yeah, I'm interested to see,
bro. Ethereum Classic or Ethereum Cash or Ethereum Cash, ETHC
Classic.
What the fuck is yo? What the fuck is going on with that?
I mean, bro, it's the beginning of a nice little run,
bro.
It's the beginning of
that's
a nice
going crazy,
run.
And I have a little bit of. Not even, I mean, I got some. I got
nice
some
little
from
run, y'all.
Bro, I got some from like 2017.
Oh,
so I've been watching. No, that's what I'm saying. I've been watching it go crazy, bro. And I'm just like, why? Did not know that. I just did not know that was going crazy. I didn't even know I had any until this week. Yeah, I didn't even know I had it. It was that low in my portfolio. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I didn't. It was that low in my portfolio that I didn't even know I had some until this week. It shot. Like, was it this week or maybe 2 weeks ago? Then I don't know. Maybe it was this week that it actually started shooting up. Yeah. But that's crazy. I don't know what's going on. But more of it, please. More, please. Like more, please.
Yeah, basically, it's the alt market season, just like how we. Yeah. Basically, what we had just saw for this Bitcoin when we were. I had several episodes ago when you showed me the show. Like when we were like
the fact that it happened. The fact that it happened while we were shooting this is crazy. We've only been here for 28 weeks. So you know what I'm saying?
When we were talking about that and basically what
and it was 15,000.
It's basically in essence
15.
It's altcoins' turn to do.
It's altcoins' turns to do that.
Because
altcoins have been going crazy.
So this is where it's just like, yo. Just rub your hands together, and just what I'm saying. Keep doing what you got.
If you're not following Bruke on Twitter, follow Bruke Facilla on Twitter because shout out to you. You're the reason I have Telcoin. You're the reason I have Telcoin. Telcoin was up like 58-68% this week. But yeah, man. Everybody have a great weekend. We will see you back here on Friday of next week, very early in the morning at 8:00. So holla at us.
Early.